TV personality, international superstar, I would probably say. Internationally famous, at least. And former professional footballer, I think. I know that I've seen pictures of him in the Rangers kit.
Yeah, I know the same tabloid cover that you're talking about with him in the jersey. Yeah.
I don't know if he made any SBL appearances for Rangers or senior appearances, but Gordon Ramsay is a very talented man. Been in the spotlight a while. I mean, we first kind of saw him on the Hell's Kitchen.
Foundational block in our friendship was watching that season of Hell's Kitchen where the guy had the heart attack every week.
He started off that in like this kind of TV bully, I guess.
Yeah,
but in recent
bullying Americans,
like well they deserve it, it's fine. Yeah. And then he came back this side of the pond and started bullying restaurateurs into cooking better. But in recent years, he's kind of done better with his image and kind of he's kind of relatable. He's kind of funny. He's a normal guy. He works hard. He's a bit intense, but who isn't? Yeah. Until this week where he fucked it all. Yeah. He threw it all away for some reason.
It turns out he's a giant idiot.
Turns out he's been out of touch forever.
Yeah, literally since day one.
He just has probably an unbelievable PR team. And when he went out on his own for a second,
he said the craziest thing anyone has ever said.
I mean, I don't think we even need to play the clip. Just go to Twitter /nonsense. Give us a follow there. You'll see the clip right there. I mean, it's all over the place. This clip of him selling his Porsche. I mean, I think it's worth mentioning. It's on the High Performance podcast, which has come under a lot of abuse over the last few years.
Every clip from it is. Something happens when people go on that show where it's just like they turn into the worst versions of themselves.
Which they think is the best version.
Exactly, yeah. The LinkedIn version.
Yeah, it is. It's all those pages, the LinkedIn, the state of LinkedIn are all like, this is literally our stuff. This is copyright theft. This is the kind of stuff that we're meant to post here. I mean, when you break it all down, whittle all away the nonsense of it, it's just a story about a man buying 2 Porsches.
Yeah. He had to be advised to sell the Porsche rather than be handed 20 grand.
He already had 20 grand. He wanted another 20 grand for a 40 grand deposit, which means that apartment's 400 grand.
Yeah.
Buy another house.
Years ago, apparently, when he was skint. How fucking expensive was it now with inflation?
Honest to God, I mean, that's the only thing I thought of was like, I hope this isn't going back on football. They're going to try and say, look at this out of touch football. It's like former footballer.
Yeah.
And he may or not have played at any senior games. He's a chef. He's a
Jake Humphries is a full-time podcaster now. He's not even on BT anymore.
It's nothing to do with they have enough stuff. Don't give this to football as well. That's all I was hoping for.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many garbage things.
You don't know what you're going to get.
Melodrama upon melodrama.
This is a total
Shameful, disgraceful piece of nonsense.
Because he was miles off it yesterday.
You'll learn a lot more if you listen rather than talk all
Plenty
the
of time, no problem.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a No Nonsense podcast with Cathal and Will. I don't know if you've heard the news, Will, but one of our major contributors to the show could be in danger of not existing anymore.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah. I'm talking.
What's going to happen to Stu?
No, Stu's okay. I'm talking, of course, about football Twitter.
Oh, yes, I have heard this.
Formerly football Twitter, football X now, I guess. And X as a whole could be no more in the EU, which where we live.
Yes.
So, I mean, I guess we could get VPN, but I would imagine that all the people on it wouldn't get VPNs. We just lose all the lose all that content because apparently Elon Musk is thinking of taking out the EU because of misinformation laws.
Yeah, which that would ruin the whole thing if you can't just lie.
don't let the truth get away with a story or a good tweet or a good X.
Yeah.
That's his take on it. But it's scary times for some of those Xers out there.
Yeah. United Tray is quaking. Where's my next meal going to come from?
There's a lot of lads who put a lot of time and effort into being the worst people in the world.
Yeah.
And it might all come crashing down overnight. But The reason I mentioned this, Will, is because I was talking about the Beckham documentary in the last episode. And I was like, there has to be something out there that tells me what's going on here. Because when I review a documentary like that, I try to do it on my own without reading or listening to something else because, it'll affect your opinion. Because someone have a good point. Well, that's a good point. I'm going to steal that point. Or you'll try not to steal the point, so you'll dance around it. Anyway, so I went in raw, watched the documentary, was like, this seems off. Went to football Twitter, it is off, Will.
Yeah, we were right in our suspicions.
Complete lies, all of us. I did my own research then after that, just to try and look up. I mean, the biggest thing, what about the Man United stuff? I mean, I guess I kind of knew that he didn't win the treble on his own. Apparently he did win the treble on his own throughout the season.
Yeah, for months and months.
For months and months, but the final was not his crowning moment. The entire season getting them there was part of it. But I mean, in the documentary, the whole thing was the narrative of he was struggling for so much after the 98 World Cup and all the abuse he was getting.
Bollocks.
Apparently from the first day, he was banging goals as like a fuck you season to everybody. But they wanted to do it because he was going to play Simeone in the Champions League quarterfinal in March. So it's like, this will be a good story. But it was like, that wasn't true, apparently. Apparently he was like ripping it up until he got to Simeone, and they ripped it up there again, and then all the way to the final. So anyway, so I didn't have much of a connection with the Man United stuff. But I did was the Real Madrid stuff, because I couldn't really find much on that. So I decided to look it up in stat mode. Well, I went to Transfermarkt, which doesn't tell the full story, I'll admit. However,
it does give you a story.
It gives you some idea of what was going on in that 06-07 season. So in the documentary, he goes to LA Galaxy with that very public meeting and is shocked that the club is annoyed at that, and they drop him for, weeks on end, right?
Yeah.
It shows here from the 10th of the 3rd, so what's that, January, March, to April, the 14th of April, not in the squad, right? And then they bring Beckham back in at the behest of his best friend, Roberto Carlos.
Yeah.
Do you want to know how many goals and assists he got to get them back into the title race?
But judging by the documentary, he was tearing it up from the second he got back till the end of the season. By the looks of it, it looked like 7 goals, maybe 10 assists.
Well, there's only 7 games left now when he came back.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Well, I would say at least an assist a game by the looks of the documentary. And maybe 4 goals.
No, he got 4 assists in 7 games, which, again, not too bad. And he was playing centre mid. So, I mean, again, I won't be like, oh, well, he didn't score a goal and assist, whatever. He didn't play well. He could have played well. He could have inspired the team. However, Will, right?
Yeah.
In that same time, do you want to know how many goals Ruben Nistelrooy scored?
Lots. He was ripping it up, wasn't he?
He scored 10 goals in that 7 games. Bring his total for the season to 25 goals.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to know how many of those goals that Dave Beckham assisted to Ruben Nistelrooy?
Ooh. Not many, I would think.
None, in fact, Will.
Yeah, because he's not getting on the end of corners. He's in the box. He's tapping up. He's getting the scraps.
Now, look, I will say that was a massive run of form. He only scored the other, 25 goals for the whole season. He scored 10 in the last 7 games. So it was kind of patchy before that. So maybe Beckham inspired Ruben Nistelrooy, his old teammate. Again, why he wasn't mentioned at all in this.
Not a word. Definitely didn't like each other, I assume.
They mustn't have, because they played together at both United and Real Madrid, and won the league at both.
They were both ousted by Fergie as well. That would have been a great story.
Some common ground, but he didn't obviously want to feature in the documentary. He's got his own life after Real Madrid. I mean, that was something that was quite common. I mean, Zizou wasn't in it either. I mean, anybody who was in it seemed to be kind of finished with football almost.
Yeah. The Ronaldos of the world who were like, I was done after that.
Except for Solskjaer, I guess. He's a good mate, I think.
Yeah.
But I think he's probably mates everybody in that team. He loves Man United,
Yeah.
But anyways, I was just looking up. I thought, okay, so I guess a lot of it was to Ruben Nistelrooy and whatever else happened. But yeah, from what I've heard and what I've read from other football men who were around at the time, a lot of it is embellished. Some of it not even to benefit Beckham. Just for the narrative of that, the comeback, and I guess it's just aimed at an American audience,
Yeah, and it actively makes him look like he's performing worse than he was, which is why is that the story? Shouldn't the story be that he's amazing?
just for the arc, you know.
Yeah.
Where's my arc? So yeah, I think that was probably the main thing I took from it. It seemed not real, and yeah, I think a lot of it isn't real. Anyhow,
Does that hurt your opinion of it? Is it now gone from a great watch?
I mean, it was the first episode was good, definitely. Everything everyone agreed on the first episode was good.
Yeah.
But the rest was all very kind of I mean, you know, the kind of like again, we already did the review, but
yeah.
my opinion is this: he's a better footballer than I thought he was. Worse person.
Yeah, for sure.
We also mentioned this. There was also the documentary when he missed the birth of his child to do a photo shoot with Beyonce and
Jennifer Lopez. That was mad.
And he was like, "Yeah, I think she's all right with this. Like, he just lives in a bubble. He lives in the Hanson bubble, you know."
Also, the birth of his other child, he asked fucking Posh Spice to do his hair.
Oh, he had to go out to the cameras, you see. So this is kind of about him as much as about her, you know. No, he's a complete egomaniac, I think, is the
yes, which is what we've learned.
The whole even that he would do this documentary to make himself seem worse, that he would seem like a hero, is crazy. That is like there's something there that needs to be studied. Like, why would you say that? Wouldn't it be better to show all the goals and assists? No, I wouldn't, you know. But whatever. Anyway, we've done the Beckham documentary. People seem to enjoy it, so maybe they won't mind this. But I'm done with this for sure. I think
that's us done.
Talked about it for long enough. Yeah, I mean, we had some the Premier League's back this week, as we said. City versus Brighton. Will big question: what's going to happen with two really well coached teams with kind of tactical innovations face each other? What's going to happen?
The team with all the money is going to win.
The team with the best players usually win. Yeah,
easy, no problem.
There was a cooking for the ages. Will Doku.
He's been cooking since he arrived.
He has been doing well since he arrived, but you put up against 37-year-old Milner,
something
Milner?
Like that. Yeah,
former midfielder turned utility man. James Milner goes back to his old club, one of his old clubs. I don't know if he still gets booed. Probably not anymore. Maybe.
That was mad, actually. I forgot about that.
They let him go on a free, and he went to a bad Liverpool team at the time, and now they boo him because they became good because of him, you know. Anyhow, it's the siege mentality at City. They think everyone's against them, so if you're not with us, you're against us. Anyhow, he goes back to City, and he gets cooked by Doku, a man who's probably 22, 23 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I think so.
Young guy, fast guy, likes to run at people, younger than Milner. And he had a bad time until halftime when he was taken off. Don't know why they start with that plan. I know they have injuries, but it always seemed like a bad idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just reading. It was like, you know, he's getting cooked. Doku's cooking.
Let him cook.
It's kind of it's obsession and interest. Football Twitter, as I mentioned earlier, this kind of cooking. And I was wondering, like, does this really count when there's such a mismatch? You know what I mean? Like a smaller team with injuries than they played, like their aging utility man as a right back. I mean, is that
seems unfair?
And then also when they made the changes, Doku kind of went out of the game a little bit.
Yeah,
you know, he got taken off for Grealish in the end. You know, and City were actually kind of not hanging on, I wouldn't say, but it wasn't comfortable as it was in the end. But that's with all the Derby teams. They start off on losing badly, and then they change half time and like, whoa, he just changed them tactical.
How do you do that?
But yeah, it does make me think of what I suppose individual performances, and I mean the internet cooking is a relative new term, which I think is from like the NBA, because I remember James Harden used to do the cooking celebration.
Yeah,
it's seeped into football now.
Yeah, and you see it everywhere now. It is the dominant. I would say possible absolute. You can see cooking added to the dictionary this year. You know, we'd always have one word every year.
Oh, as a third meaning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Put it on the board. Cooking.
Put it on the dictionary board.
Will be added to one of the dictionaries, one of the big ones. One of a top 6 dictionary.
Yeah.
One of the top 6. Top 6. It's a top 6 or top 4. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
There's Webster's.
Who can keep up anymore?
There's Folan's. Has Folan's kind of dropped off a bit? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, what's your first memory of seeing someone cook, Will, on a football pitch?
Oh, the Ronaldo hat trick, probably. It was,
That's very. Hey, according to the documentary, you saw Dave Beckham cooking that. He scored in the 3-2. Dave Beckham scored the 2 other goals, which I'd never heard of, but apparently he did.
well, that was my first memory of like, this fella is just, you can't even play him.
Unplayable, yeah. I think that's part of it. And that was I right in saying that Man United fans applauded Ronaldo?
Yeah, he got a standing ovation when he got subbed off.
I mean, that's the mark, the seal of approval there. The opposing fans clapping you off.
Yeah.
I think the same thing happened when Ronaldinho did something similar to Real Madrid. Although I think that was a kind of a protest clap.
yeah.
Not so much as ironic. It was like, wow, I wish we had someone like this, Real Madrid.
Yeah. Oh, look at their great player. If only we could get him.
Yeah, not quite ironic, but it's definitely not genuine.
Yeah.
They don't actually like Ronaldinho at this point.
No, definitely not.
But I think he cooked them. He destroyed them that day. I'll tell you this though: do you have to have some production? You have to have a goal and an assist in the game for it to count, or is it just a lot of tricks with no end product?
I think it's changed. I think you used to. I think now you need one highlight reel, one step over that sends your man sliding. You've cooked him. He's cooked. Cooking.
Well, you've definitely cooked him in that moment. But
Yeah.
Did you cook for the game? You know,
I don't think that matters in the grand scheme. People don't look at that.
It's all flips.
It's moments of cooking. That is all that people care about. And then they'll say he was cooking for the whole game.
Yeah.
Or if that player gets sold, or even if he's having a bad season next year, they'll show that highlight reel from that one game and they'll say, oh, Doku was cooking last season.
He's never recovered from that cooking he got from Doku. That kind of stuff. It's all
exactly.
And the best thing is, well, not the best thing is, it's the whole the X engagement money. It's like you want someone to point out that they lost that game.
Yeah, exactly.
I want you to comment. I'm not going to reply to you. You know, you're going to be shouting into the void. I want you. I'm baiting you in to say, well, they actually lost that game, so that wasn't really cooking. It's like,
Ting, money.
All I see is Euro sides here. So I love it. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, there's not much kind of merit to actually winning the game or, you know, advancing in the competition. It's just that one time you made him fall over, you know?
Exactly, yeah. I still see the Martinez sliding past Salah from last season, I think it was. I see that regularly of people being like, oh, he's never recovered. Like,
the 7-0 one. Yeah. I mean, again, it's like that was the one moment in the game where he kind of came up 1-1 against Salah and lost, but he was cooked that game, Will. He got cooked, you know.
Liverpool cooked, fuck are you saying?
Yeah, well, that's it. I think that's as well. If you get one moment where you get a step over, you fall on your arse, and your team loses badly, then it's like, oh yeah, well, obviously, logically, you were cooked.
The fans are saying, who let Liverpool cook?
Yeah, yeah. Because the one I was thinking of, when I think of that first, because I always see it, is the Neymar versus Bayern Munich in the Champions League in 2021. Because, I mean, people don't realize maybe that there's a lot of Neymar fans out there. Like, obviously, there's the Ronaldo and Messi lads out there, but like, there is genuinely Neymar fans who love Neymar and will post clips from him. You can look up on YouTube, it'll say Neymar versus Bayern Munich and the date. You know, it's not PSG or, you know.
The one-man show.
The one-man show. I looked, and I was like, I'm going to watch this. I want to watch all 80 minutes of this.
That's a lot of minutes.
A lot of minutes. And a lot, Will, of Neymar diving.
Yeah.
Neymar losing the ball, but like, you know, not making it someone, not tracking back, waiting for the ball to come to him. A few through passes to Mbappe, who runs really fast and gets the ball. And then, you know, a lot of him getting good passes and taking on men. And honestly, picking the ball up in the middle was a lot of us. And there's one moment where he did like absolutely cook somebody and went by them, and then it didn't result in anything. PSG, Will, went on to lose that game 1-0.
Yeah.
But they won the previous game 3-2, where Neymar got 2 assists.
Yes, where he was definitely better.
In terms of production, do you know what I mean? But in this one, it was like he was unplayable. You know, there was 3 men on him. I guess in that game, all they needed to do was not lose by 2 goals.
Yeah.
Which he did attract a lot of attention because he was so good in the last game. And he didn't shy away from it. So, I mean, if that's your level of cookie, but again, if you put in a nice little package, highlight reel, big Neymar fan, that's all it takes. You don't need the context. Yeah. All I need is this was his peak, you know, which is like a 1-0 loss in the Champions League.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I suppose it was the wider context is that they had lost the final last year to Bayern Munich. So this was kind of and he kind of didn't play great in that final. So like, does he have it? Does he have the balls to play at this level? But
Can he still cook?
can he still cook? Does he want to still cook? We said cook how many times I wonder in this little segment?
Might sound a little ding every time.
No, that would be even worse. Yeah, I can't think of many others, but I think that's probably a good point, that it doesn't really matter who wins or who loses. It's just about moments and clips, and I want you to point out the context, because it's more money for me for now.
Yeah, for now. I tell you, the football game is going to change drastically if that's taken out of Europe.
Oh man, the pressure off people.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of that Simpsons clip. Imagine a world without lawyers.
Yeah.
A world without Twitter. Oh, awful stuff.
I like the idea that football will immediately not regress back, but just simple things like players will start celebrating like they did in the 60s, where they just like stand in a circle jumping with their hands in the air.
Yeah, no celebrations, no anything like that. Just
no haircuts. Yeah.
handshakes, just handshaking their teammates. Yeah. Oh yeah, speaking of Neymar, he may never cook again, Will. He's 31 now. Had a lot of injuries,
yes,
ankles and knees over the years, and he sustained another one for Al Ahly.
A big one.
I think it is the meniscus and the
ACL,
like two fuckers in one.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, he just, with the injuries pile up, and he hasn't ever recovered from them really well. Like, someone has a bad injury and then they become Iron Man and they just never get injured again, because like, okay, well, this is a real wake up call and getting older. He gets injuries and then he gets another injury. He's always injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll see like, if he had stayed fit, it's like, well, he was never going to stay fit. I mean, this one, he'd already gone to Saudi Arabia. He's 31. He has all the money in the world. Is he really now, at this point in his career, going to try and fight back when he didn't try to do it ever before?
Yeah, and like fight back to play in. Like, did you see the last game Al Ettifaq were playing had 660 people in attendance?
Yeah.
So like, you're fighting back to play for the most money you've ever had in your career, but definitely the lowest level you've ever played at in your career.
Yeah, and as well, you're thinking, I need to get back to like 60%.
Yeah, exactly.
So, if you're thinking, I'm trying to get back here playing for Barcelona and trying to get back in the team, I have to be back better than ever because they're going to doubt me.
Yeah, I'm going to get replaced immediately.
Yeah, well, it's not going to happen here. But I suppose the only thing would be Brazil, maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, his hopes of doing a Messi in his mid to late 30s. When's the next World Cup? 2026?
Yes, I think that's right.
So that's 3 years from now. He'd be 34. Not that old.
No, he could be there, definitely. I don't think he'll be the star of the team, though.
Well, it seems like Messi changed to a completely different player than he was in his first World Cup.
I don't feel like the Brazil team are gonna run like dogs so that Neymar doesn't have to track back like they did for Messi, though.
Yeah, because we've seen him not tracking back and they didn't run like dogs.
No, so, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what it would take, you'd imagine, for Neymar to win a World Cup at 34 with this injury.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it'd be a pretty bad way to go out, to like move to a league. Everyone said that you're just a money-grabbing whore.
Yeah.
And then get injured and never play again for Brazil or anybody. I mean, it's just...
Yeah, the last abiding memory of Neymar potentially as a footballer will be the social media post his club put up of him screaming in agony with all the sponsors at the bottom of it.
That's an all-timer. I mean...
that is madness.
For anybody who didn't see it, they'll usually, if someone gets injured, not even usually, sometimes if someone gets injured, they'll post a graphic, be like, we're with you, back stronger. As in, like, we're not going to replace you, don't worry, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they'll show a picture of him scoring a goal in one of the final they played in.
Yeah.
I guess he's new. So they didn't want to show a picture of him playing, for PSG or Barcelona or for Santos. So they said, well, what pictures do we have of him? Well, there's a few from the last game. And there's pictures of the moment he was injured, but with like a cool effect on it.
Yeah.
And then in the background, there's like an overlay of him being stretchered off. And just says back stronger. I was like, gee, Mark, it's
like beyond parody. That is the type of thing.
Yeah.
that like football Twitter would be doing, making fun of him.
Yeah, a really tasteless joke. you
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
It was
I just love the idea of the like graphic designer making it and just being like, just following the brief. I'm just doing what I was told. This seems insane.
Oh God! I mean, it's I don't know what step they have here, what kind of a management structure they have to check these things. But really, someone should have said, "Is there anything we can do about this? You know, is there a real rush on getting this out? Can we just take another minute? He's not going anywhere. He's going to be injured tomorrow. You know, we can put this out tomorrow."
Definitely the only alteration that was made was I'd say it went up without all the sponsors at the bottom corner.
So they released the graphic. They sent it out as an email as a proof. And then some guy busted in the office like, "What the hell is this? Not a sponsor in sight. What have you been putting it up for?
Where's Puma?
This is actually help name, Eric. Get the sponsor on there. God's sake, it's for them, not him. Think.
We're trying to grow the league."
We're building something here." Yeah, no, it was and then everybody had the same reaction, really. It was like, this is a really, they don't get it, Will. They just don't get football yet. Yeah, I think, Will, maybe we should take the opportunity to head into town, I think.
Yeah, why not?
Head into the market. There's a few things that we should check out, I think. We
Yeah. Need to
get our
some
coats. It's a
things.
bit nippy out there today. We'll get our coats. Ooh, jeez. Yeah, it's like the chill in the air now, Will. You know it's the end of October.
Yep.
Oh, there we are now. There's Jack. How are you, Jack? What does Jack sell again?
Calf.
Oh, he's a calf merchant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, calf
Yeah.
merchant.
How are you, Jack?
Fabrizio. Hey, how you getting on? You still up to the old tricks?
Put down that phone, will you? Relax for a few minutes.
He's a here we go merchant, isn't he, Will?
Yeah, he is. He sells
Yeah.
all the here we goes you need.
Yeah. Nah, I'm all right.
You're good for here we goes?
I think I might maybe look somewhere else. I got other things in mind. Here we are, Will. Take a look at this.
Whoa, look at everything here. Everything's so shiny.
Hang on, Will. Don't be fooled.
Gives me a weird feeling.
This is a nostalgia merchant.
Oh.
Yeah, it's better than it seems. Yeah, put down those rose-tinted glasses. They won't do any good in the real world.
What's he selling this week?
Well, Will, this nostalgia merchant I found on Twitter, and he was selling an old highlight reel clip of Douglas Costa. Remember him?
Yes, very clearly.
He got accused of cooking once. I remember at the time they were playing Arsenal in the Champions League game, and I was in some kind of group chat, I don't remember, but one of the lads typed in, "Bellerin's been anally probed by Douglas Costa."
It was a different time.
But you can look up the clip. It's in this clip I saw on Twitter of him like doing a step over and like whooshing the ball to the left when Bellerin goes right, and he was like, "Okay, you got him." But like the ball, I think like went too far and he just got across it and it went nowhere. But like even back then, it was like seeing it, you know, it was like there was no goal or assist in that. Yeah, well, he cooked him, didn't he?
Cooked him.
Didn't know where the ball was for a second. This got a lot of abuse because I think the caption was, "This guy would be a top 2 winger in the world today," you know.
No, he would not.
And then it was like, this isn't like watching like Maradona or Pele clips. This was like 2013. This is not, okay, yeah, 10 years ago, fine. But like at the same time, it's like, it's not a different game back then. Like he could play today, and like there's a reason that Bayern Munich sold him and Juve sold him. Like he went to all these clubs, and he would have a couple of good games, and he obviously had undeniable ability. But it was the end product that let him down. So all these people were like, "This guy's delusional," and then someone commented and said, "This guy's just a nostalgia merchant." I thought that's amazing. But it's funny because he actually is
because now they make money.
Because now he's making money off X. So it's not even
he's selling his wares.
He's literally selling nostalgia on X, and people are lapping it up. And even by not buying it, you're buying it by saying this guy's a clown, this guy's delusional, he doesn't know ball. He's making money off nostalgia, but not really. He's just making money off clips. It's just incredible.
How is he allowed to post the clips?
He puts an effect, that kind of
oh yeah,
you know, that diamondy effect, the shiny one that like glows.
It has Watermelon Sugar by Harry Styles playing really slowed down for some reason.
Yeah, just outside the realms of that's my song.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought we might stop in here and have a look at what's going on today in the nostalgia shop. There's a few of these around, and I was funny as well. I was scrolling through the comments. You know, when you agree with the comments, you can scroll for hours because you're just seeing more reinforcement of your thoughts, which is amazing.
Yeah.
We should sell that. We should become thought reinforcement merchants.
How can we package it? We got to make money off this.
How can we package thought reinforcement? I don't know. Maybe just look at this clown in a screenshot. Maybe, you know.
Yeah. That's what we become.
But I saw Ansa Maxim getting strays, getting drive-bys in these comments. I mean, like the year is 2050. Someone's posted a clip of Ansa Maxim saying he'd be a top 2 winger in the world.
That's just getting older. Is now it's our players that were like, no, he wasn't. He was never that great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll happen to us as well. We'll see players like that. But I mean, that was one. Because I used to think that as well. Because you'd see Douglas Costa every year in the Champions League, and then you wouldn't hear about him. I wonder where he's gone to. And you'd look up, it's like he's been at 3 clubs since. Like, oh, what's going on there? I thought he was pretty good, but yeah, when you don't see him every week, it's hard to quantify things. Anthony was also getting a bit abused. This is just Anthony with less domestic violence. They were saying, you know, hey, this is what they were saying. Will. I'm just reading the news on X.
The news.
Well, it's definitely new. This is
sitting down to read the morning football Twitter comments.
Just open up a massive newspaper of tweets. Well, what's in the financials?
Who's getting cooked today?
Who's getting cooked today in the Wall Street Journal? Yeah, so pop down to your local market and you'll buy some nostalgia if you want to. Anyway, let's get back into the house. It's a bit nippy, you know. It's a bit. Let's go back into the studios. Let's bring our mics and our headsets back inside, shall we?
Yeah, let's climb the tower again.
We had also Arsenal Chelsea. A couple of derbies in that. In case you didn't know, the Rice Derby, of course, formerly of Chelsea, as we all know, released, not good enough. Impossible to tell if he hadn't been released, would he have become good enough, or did that drive him on? You know?
Yes, and it is the thing where getting released from Chelsea sometimes is the best thing that can ever happen to you, because otherwise you're stuck there, getting loaned around for your whole life.
Yeah, to Vitas our name.
Yeah.
Well, that was a big one for a while. But also Eddie Nketiah was also released from Chelsea. Didn't know that. So that's another knuckle to the derby.
Imagine how much players they've just owned over the years that you didn't even know about.
Yeah, there's a lot of people went through there. I'd say who never made it, but I think it's when one of the most expensive players in the league comes back against you. It's like maybe you messed it up on this one, but
yeah,
we'll never know. And who else was it? There's another derby element to this that I'm forgetting. No, not a derby element, but apparently Pochettino and Arteta are good friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I guess they're both Spanish speakers.
And football managers. They do have a lot in common.
You know, what else do you need? Great hair. 2 of them with great hair. But yeah, it was the day for Mudryk, Will. First goal.
He's arrived.
He has arrived. First goal at home for Chelsea.
Definitely an accident.
Just cut straight to the chase. I was warming up to it, Will. He scored his first goal. Cross come shot.
Yeah.
Always the way when this goes in and people are like, not sure if he meant it or not. I'm like, not sure. I mean, what?
Where did he look before he kicked the ball?
It's to me, Will, it's always so obvious.
Yeah.
It's like, and I never played for Chelsea. I was never released by Chelsea. I never played at the top level, but I can see the way he's looking, the way the ball comes off his foot. He didn't mean it, but there's always this kind of like, oh, we'll never know. Only he'll know. I know.
But he did say after the game that Chelsea's goalkeeping coach, now he didn't say like take a shot.
Yeah.
But apparently they had spotted that Raya is usually too far, a little bit too far out. And he said put the crosses on top of Raya. Rather than where Raya can run out and get them. Make him move back because it'll fuck him up.
Yeah. Although, Will, do you think Mudryk could do that on purpose in this run of form?
We've heard he can't hit the crossbar.
He cannot hit the crossbar under the pressure of just him and one other man there doing it. So if the goalkeeper coach is like, listen, Mudryk, when you get the ball, right, okay.
Just put it in this area.
When you get the ball, Mudryk, he's like, okay, you're scared already. Go on. And, you know, I know you're focusing really hard to just get across it accurately. But I'm saying put it in a more specific spot, not over the bar, because that would be wide. Just on the goalie, and they'll put him under pressure. Like he was like, I get the ball, just put it in. He was head down.
I'm just going to kick it.
Put it in the general area. That's all I need to do for now. Small steps,
I think his eyes were closed when he kicked it.
So yeah, I mean, I think Neville was fairly direct on it, but more in the way that this was Ray's fault.
One of my favorite. We've talked about football Twitter a lot, but one of my all-time favorite tweets was Gary Neville is in the commentary booth calling Ray a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, he has a thing about goalies, and he has a thing also about Arsenal as well. I think he's enjoying this this goalie fiasco that's going on.
Yeah, it's something, finally.
Because it was when it was like, yeah, Ray's made a mistake there, and it's a problem. It's a real problem for Arteta. And
he's always oohing and ahhing as well.
Make no mistake, a problem of his own making. I was like, oh God, here we go with this again. A goalie gets lobbed in a cross-come shot that no one meant. I mean, he was out, but that's where he should be. You should be standing your line waiting for someone to come, like Thiago Silva to come powering through and oh, geez, that was a bullet header. How's about to stop that? You got to get there before he gets to it. You got to do what Sanchez did, clean man and ball. Which I don't know if you saw Ref Watch on Monday.
I missed Ref Watch this week.
Apparently, Dermot Gallagher says definite penalty for Arsenal there. Took the man the ball. Don't know what was going on there, but hey, that's VAR for you.
We've talked about how like the game has changed because now it's kind of the refs who decide the game more so than anything else.
They're the stars of the show.
This was a game where I've never seen so many handball shouts.
Yeah.
But to the point where it seemed like the game plan for both teams was just lash it as hard as you can at the defender. It'll hit one of their arms.
Yeah, well, through all this fiasco, that's what we realized. Like, if the ball hits someone in the arm, it's a penalty.
That's the only guarantee.
That's like seemingly where the dust is settled on this. Like, so if it's a ball, hand, penalty, box, that's a penalty.
Yeah.
So
the Liverpool-Everton game was the same as well. They were just lashing it off Michael Keane.
Stand up, Keane, put your arms out like a man. Yeah, because that was the Mudryk, or the penalty that Mudryk probably would have scored an actually good goal. Saliba, he had his arms out. Natural position. Is that a rule? Is that like a...
Who cares anymore? No one knows.
Don't know if that's a real thing, but hit the ball, his hand was going to go in, so therefore, that's a pain. Yeah. But yeah, it means that City they were top, and then Tottenham went, and they're top of the league, Will.
Did you see the end of the game where Spurs fans were obviously celebrating and the fans were staying back to celebrate?
Watching this Monday night, and this feels different about Spurs. You might, in the past, have looked around and be quite a lot of empty seats, but they're all staying, Jamie.
It's Monday Night Football day. It's a big night. Yeah, they're really enjoying it. And again, I don't think this is about sort of necessarily Tottenham being top of the league. I think it's just the whole feeling about the players there. Everybody's enjoying themselves. The manager, everyone's buying into the football that they're playing. And they're milking it. And good luck to them. You'll have the celebration police out tonight. Someone will be having a go at them. But, no.
They think they've won the league already.
Yeah, we've heard all that nonsense. But let them enjoy it. They deserve it. They've had a great start to the season. And long may it continue for them.
Well, they said about Arsenal that they over-celebrate things because I guess they haven't won anything. Well, like, was it the FA Cup a couple of years ago? Is kind of all they've won. So it's just people trying to suck the joy out of things.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, you haven't won anything. It's like, well, neither of you. Yeah, exactly. So be miserable like me. It's like it's not like these hordes of City fans saying no one can celebrate but us because we won everything. It's there is a bit of that, like it's only October, don't get carried away. But we played that Postecoglou clip a few weeks ago. It's like that's what it's all about. Get carried away.
Why are you watching otherwise?
I mentioned before the Arsenal season last year. It was actually one of the worst seasons because just tensing the whole season, waiting for it to end. Like, oh, we're going to blow it. We're going to blow it. Like, enjoy the wins. Like, watch the game the weekend. Go back to work on Monday. Like, live your life. Don't be
your exact reaction after the last minute winner against Bournemouth last year was like, no, this shouldn't be happening.
It's too early for this kind of shite. Like, again, missed opportunity to just celebrate and enjoy the moment,
I did see an early contender for an award. early contender for the worst take, the coldest take of the year. Did you see, not the Haaland guy, do you know the other guy, the Man City guy?
No.
Do you know that guy? He's another one of those type of dudes who's like on the social Saturday or whatever.
Yeah.
Ange Postecoglou is the new Spurs manager. I think he should enjoy the next 12 weeks before he gets sacked. I think Spurs will ultimately struggle with this guy. I think he's a fantastic manager on his day. He brings unity, plays an aggressive style of football, scores a lot of goals. But this is Tottenham Hotspur. They had José Mourinho the night before a League Cup final, and they sacked him. They brought in Conte, and it just didn't work. This is Nuno Espirito Santo all over again. He's going to come in, going to have a couple of fans in the Spurs kind of fan base that are going to back him and think that he's the next, the next Jurgen Klopp coming to this country. He's going to get battered 1-0 by Luton. He's going to get sacked by October. That's the sad reality of Spurs. He's a good manager. It's good for Australian football to see a big coach get a big job. This guy gets sacked within 12 weeks, mark my words.
Postecoglou has now gotten the most points of any new manager in the Premier League in this amount of games in 4 months.
Fucking hell, yeah.
Yeah. So it's literally the exact opposite of what that guy very confidently was saying.
Although one thing that we called, Will, the tide turning, I have seen that because I saw he got the back-to-back manager of the month.
Yeah.
And someone quote tweeted this, I'm going to go out and limb here and say a Liverpool fan. I was like, oh, great. All it took was a disallowed goal against Liverpool. Like, listen to all the games in the month that they supposedly robbed teams of. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, once you lose this guy, he's not so charming, is he?
Yeah. I'm not his mate anymore.
Yeah, fuck this guy. His lovely personality and warm kind of approach to the game. It's conflicting, Will, to see Spurs doing well. Because just not a likable team over the years. Not like managers, but he's changing it overnight and also make them successful. So it'll be funny to see where they stand at the end of the season, right? In both terms of where they are in the league and where they are in people's hearts and minds.
This is what I do think, and this sounds like sour grapes, so people are going to think I'm being mean. It reminds me of Ollie at United.
Okay.
The bounce back from years of managers just make the place miserable and super defensive, and a guy who just comes in, he's likable, he's like, do what you like, lads, attack, go on, let's entertain people. It works until it doesn't work anymore, and then people are like, oh, well, he's brought us on so much, now it's time for the next step. And then you realize actually he's probably doing better than we realized.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it. I can see the similarities. I mean, I guess Maddison would be Bruno Fernandes, Son would be Rashford, and Romero would be Harry Maguire.
There you go. It's a perfect.
I'll tell you, Romero, I will die on this hill. He is a liability.
He's going to cost them.
He is absolutely a liability. And he's doing well at the moment, but so is Harry Maguire. They'll turn on him. Of course, it wouldn't be a week in the Premier League without some scandal rocking it, Will. What's it this week?
So this week was an interesting one where this has been coming over the last 2 weeks or so. There was a big betting scandal in the Italian national team, but it was actually the players were involved in a betting ring at club level, betting on themselves and all sorts.
Yeah.
And apparently, the reason this has all come out is because one man, Tonali, got taken down.
Yeah.
And then he started snitching. He started pointing fingers, and a lot of other players have gone down now as well in this betting ring. One of the other players for goalie was banned for 7 months and will be forced to carry out various rehabilitation and social services with awareness campaigns for his betting. Tonali is receiving very different treatment than Ivan Toney received when he was rocked with similar allegations. It's it's an addiction. You can't help it. It's all the sponsors everywhere. You can't get away from it. But when this happened to Toney, people were like, cheat. He's costed Brentford games probably, and get rid of him. Teach him a lesson. And it was really evident at the end of the Newcastle game how different the two players are being treated. When Tonali was given a lap of honour by the Newcastle players and staff around the stadium, as in they're trying to take our boy, you know, he might be banned, but never forget what he's done for us since September.
Yeah. Remember Aston Villa at home?
Yeah.
What performance.
So it's just, it's such a bizarre moment where it seems like the club is like, sure, he bet loads, but he plays for us now.
Yeah, it's similar to that Man City thing of the everyone's against us, we don't care.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh yeah, you can't get on the pitch, so you're going to come for us off the pitch. You know,
Yeah.
like if it's all some big conspiracy against them, you know, so they'll protect their own. Like, oh yeah, they're trying to take us down. They don't like that we're successful now, you know. But yeah,
It's just insane. And it's what's more bizarre as well is that, remember how quickly and oddly the transfer went through from Milan? Apparently he was like Milan for life, never leaving. He's our boy. And then all of a sudden he was at Newcastle. He looks absolutely miserable and all the press stuff. So it does make you think Milan might have seen something coming down the pipeline that maybe get him out. He's not going to be playing for us anyway, either way.
I mean, they may have, but I think just 60 million for them. I mean, that goes a lot further than Italian league than here. They're probably like, you know what, like that's life. Like if we don't sell him this summer, he'll come to us next summer and go, Barcelona want me, so I'm going to go. I was like, right, you know, at least we're in control of this one, that we can say, right, you're gone. We're not doing this kind of, oh, maybe he'll leave in January. Maybe like, it's like, yeah, you know what, let's. Now it could be in the betting thing, but we shouldn't speculate on these kind of things, Will.
Yeah.
But yeah, you did. But yeah, I think the difference is probably just the whatever PR people he has around him. I mean, no, Ivan Toney never came out until he was addicted to gambling.
No.
He came out and lied.
He gave one of the worst interviews I've ever seen since, which has now been topped by the Gordon Ramsay one.
Yeah, but he lied about like doing it and knowing about it, and he lied in the interview about lying. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like I'll give you everything you want, and I'm also addicted. Get that on record that I'm addicted to gambling. So I mean, he managed the story a lot better than Ivan Toney did. Ivan Toney thought he could get away with it. He gave him his phone, think they won't find anything, and they did. And oh yeah, well I guess I did lie about that.
Well, that was my brother's bet.
You know, so I mean, I think the Ivan Toney thing was just handled poorly by him. When you're caught, like you have to just accept it and say, right, what can I? Is there a plea deal? Is there something I can? You know, like
who can I take down?
Like when Tiger Woods went to rehab for cheating on his wife, you know, I'm a sex addict. You know, it's like, no, you're not.
I'm addicted to models.
Yeah, no more so than anyone else, Tiger. You know what I mean? Like, and then people go like, listen, you know what it's like to be Tiger Woods. Maybe he is. You know, it's like, fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, he just. Like, come on. So I mean, you have to play the cards that you're dealt. You know, whether it be the victim card, the addiction card, whatever it is. But you can't just come out and hope you get away with it and go, whoa, Jesus, I'm banned for how long? You know,
where's my lap of honor?
Yeah. No, the lap of honor was a bit mad because it was. I think that's more of a Newcastle thing as much as anything else. But
definitely.
Yeah, we'll see how that pans out for our boy Tonali. I mean, will he get banned? Think will he face a big ban or will he?
I think he has to, doesn't he? Because if he doesn't, then what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, did he get points for snitching at other people? You know,
well, that's the thing. If he doesn't get a ban and 10 other Italian players suddenly get a ban, we all know what's going on.
Well, he'll have a tough time playing the national team, I'd say.
Exactly.
Going forward. Yeah. Maybe he's smart though, doesn't give away any of the big dogs, just the lower level guys that they can replace. Great one. There is a lot of betting sponsorship in football. So I mean, maybe it's not funny to joke about, but I mean, yeah, I think it's no surprise that a lot of them play like FIFA like religiously, and they get like really annoyed when their FIFA card is bad because like they are like, I guess, addicted personalities. They're like intense people. You know, they need that kind of rush when they're not on the pitch. So some of them turn to video games, but if you don't like that, then betting is the closest you can get to like, you know, drink and drugs.
Yeah,
like give you that high of like, fuck, I just made a fuck ton of money, you know, for nothing, you know,
even more than I already make.
Well, that's it. Like, I mean, we all work jobs, but like, if you make €100 on a bet, that's fucking way better than the €100 you made during the week. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Similar to like, if you make €5,000 a week, if you make €5,000 in a second, you're like, whoa.
And I can just keep doing this.
You know? Now, I think when it gets down to like betting on your own games and affecting the game, that's like, I have to pay people back. Which some of them were in debt, weren't they? Some of those Italian players?
I think so, yeah.
I don't know why you do it that way, you know, just bet how much you have. But that's addiction, I suppose, isn't it? I'm chasing that rush, running that risk. But yeah, it's Again, it's just another week in football, Will.
That's what we should have called the pod.
Another week in football. But then we would have had to do every week, which we have not done.
That'd be chaos.
One final cooking this week, Will, from past master, José Mourinho.
Master chef.
José Mourinho cooked many people, typically in spoken word form. A lot of talk. Is he back? Is he going to be back? Is he back to his best? I don't think so. I think this is the late stage Mourinho, the second spell in Italy. But it's entertaining nonetheless, you know.
Yeah, and he is he's the same man as he always has been. You know, you might on the pitch maybe not as good as he used to be, but by God, off the pitch he is as wild as ever. A headline from the BBC: Mourinho sent off for crying gestures as Roma win. So. Roma scored in the 90th minute against Monza to win 1-0.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, rather than being caught up in the joy of scoring and celebrating, you know, run onto the pitch, jumping in joy, Mourinho took the moment to immediately turn to the Monza bench and start making crying gestures and baby gestures at them. He received a straight red card. After the game, he was asked about it. He said, "I don't know why I got a red card. All I did was make a gesture to the bench. Not a single word."
What did I say? I
didn't say anything. Oh, I can't call people babies anymore.
Yeah.
And he said, "We made a lot of mistakes and we suffered. It was a game with low technical level, but a highly emotional one."
It's funny because he did the crying gesture, when sat back down on the bench, and then the ref came over and gave him a red card. He just like immediately got up and walked away.
He's like, yeah, I know, I knew that was coming.
And then left. I don't know what that was about. But I obey the rules. You know, the same about Mourinho. I always obey the rules. You know, I saw the red card and I walked off.
Do you think in his head, as he's doing the crying gesture, he's like, I shouldn't have done this. I'm going to get sent off.
Come on, Jose, you thought about this.
It's not their first time. But it didn't stop there. Another headline, which is literally, it was posted 5 minutes later. Jose Mourinho savages Papu Gomez with cough syrup jibe. So Papu Gomez, who's now playing for Monza, is currently serving a suspension for doping because, you know, he took something which he's saying he took something just in his regular life, like a supplement or a food thing, which had an ingredient in it which has led to him being suspended.
Yeah,
Mourinho was having none of that though. Fresh off his red card, it literally says here in the caption under a photo of Mourinho pointing and doing the baby thing, Mourinho isn't having it.
A deep cut here from Mourinho, this reference.
So Mourinho speaking on the Monza statement saying this, that like it was an accident. Speaking fresh after a 1-0 Serie A win, Mourinho told the press he didn't play the final against us last year. The semi-final against Juventus, he had already known about the positive test. Me, I have a cough, but I won't take that syrup. Then maybe they won't find me positive. I know how these things work.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in the Italian league, isn't it? Oh, I took something. It must have been the food I ate. Yeah. He had an appeal about that. So
I think he failed his appeal.
I don't know what he was thinking there. I mean, you know, just for optics to appeal it, maybe. I don't know. But when you fail the appeal, it's like, no, you definitely took testosterone. Like, well, do you want to check a third time? No, I don't. I'm pretty convinced.
Fuck.
Well, this week, we're coming up, we have Champions Leagues back, in case you didn't know. And also, in case you didn't know, we'll be covering that. You're becoming Ultra today.
Yeah. Right now.
Join Becoming Ultra. End of the month. Perfect time to start, really. Get a full month of Ultra content. We cover Champions League, we cover midweek games, extra bonus episode a week. $4.50 a month plus VAT. I think it's still in dollars, isn't it?
I'm not sure. It's around a $5.
It's less than a cup of coffee in Costa these days.
Yeah,
which isn't actually a good thing.
No, it should never be the case. That's how the world is.
It doesn't mean that it's that affordable. It just means coffee's gone berserk. However, Champions League this week, we have group stages. We're going to be covering that on a bonus episode. Link is in this description of this episode. Wherever you're listening to it, on Apple, on Spotify, wherever, follow that link and become an Ultra today, and you can hear all our extra content. Do that pretty much most weeks. We're going to really ramp it up now, Will, next couple of weeks. We're going hard at it.
Colin's got a new schedule coming soon.
We're going to start cooking, folks. That's the podcast is about to cook, and we want
let us cook.
Just sign up and let us cook and taste what we have to offer. You know, it's gonna be hot. If nothing else, it's gonna be piping hot. So yeah, we will see you later on in the week, hopefully. But if not, we'll see you next week, wherever you get your pods. I had a new format, Will. We're just going to say goodbye from now on, I think.
You've changed.
Yeah. So look, from me and from Will, it's goodbye. It's not goodbye, it's see you later, you know, as if we're dying. I don't know.
Honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many, many garbage things.
Hold up. Let him
You don't know what you're gonna get.
This is a totally shameful, disgraceful piece of nonsense.
See what balls off yesterday.
You'll learn a lot more if you listen rather than talk all
Plenty
the
of
time.
time, no problem.